what's happening, YouTube, man? Welcome back to the channel, man. Hey, listen, we trying something different today, man. So, hey, check it out, bro. Hey, man, do me a favor. If you like this setup, man, put a one in the comment section. If you like the car setup, put a two in the comment section. Or if you rocking with it all, man, drop a three in the comment section for your boy one time, man. And please, you already know, man, hit that like, comment, subscribe button one time for your boy. And so yeah, man, let's go ahead and get on into this one, man. Um, as y'all seen in the last video, man, I had uh made a comment, man, about what I'm saying, not being a good gang member. And so I kinda wanna get into that one with this video, man. If y'all seen the last video, man, that was my interaction with the Latin King. And so what I'm saying, I want to give y'all a bit of my history, man, and what I'm saying, the organization I was involved with, man. And like I said in the last video, man, I was involved with the Gangster Disciples, man, out of Palm Beach County. And what I'm saying, my gang banging uh career, I would say, didn't last too long, man. It didn't last too long. And so I don't know, man, like, like at the time, bro, like, what I'm saying, I was just going through a breakup, you know what I'm saying? I was involved in heavy drug use, uh and was just looking for a place for acceptance, man. And so I end up reuniting with a bunch of dudes I went to school with, and man, I see them clicked up, flagged up, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, man, this stuff here crazy, man. Like, and man, a dude I grew up with, man, uh, he had got locked up for a while, man, and he had come back home, and he got all this gang knowledge, man, and so the dudes really took a liking to it, and kind of give y'all, what I'm saying, a little bit more history on the subject. So our generation, man, us that was banging in the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? We're considered third world, and because Gangsta Disciples, man, started in like 1968. You know what I'm saying, with Larry Hoover, and you know what I'm saying? You got the 60s, then, it kind of went through to the 70s, 80s, you know what I'm saying, 90s, 2000s. So, like, we're considered uh, third world generation Gangster Disciples, right? Um, but my homeboy who had got locked up, man, he got locked up with someone we would call a first world, someone that was actually there and around the time Larry Hoover had started this thing. And so he comes out, and like I said, man, like, because he was locked up with a first world, uh, they automatically gave him rank, man. And like, I know this dude before, like, gang banging. Like, we grew up together in the same neighborhood. Like, we wasn't on, like, and I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, I was never really with gang banging, man. I thought that was, what I'm saying, weak, and just something that really wasn't for me. You feel me? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm all about, like, my neighborhood. I'm all about, what I'm saying, my turf, where I come from. You feel me? But like I said, man, at that time I was just in a vulnerable state. I was just, my mind wasn't right, and so my dog get out, man, and like, man, how things are supposed to be. I mean, and it's crazy, man, because you know what? Listen, let me say this. Let me say this, man. And with this, I am in no way, shape, or form glorifying the gang life. Um, it's. I'm gonna be honest. It's stupid. It's reckless. It's dangerous. Um, There's nothing about it that's good. Nothing. Nothing about gangbanging is good, man. Because and because like, if you look at the history of it, man, when Larry Hoover stepped into it, that's when it got corrupt. That's when things turned negatively. And we're gonna on a separate video, man. We're gonna get into the history of these organizations on how they originated and what it was and this and that. And so, but to go back to what I was saying about like, man, not being a good game member, because like I said, man, I was all about the, you know what I'm saying, my neighborhood, like, you know what I'm saying, my homeboys, man, like, you know, you ain't gonna come over here trying my homeboys type stuff, you know what I mean? But like I say, man, like, so at that time in that vulnerable state of mind, you feel me, like I was just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, lost and wandering, you feel me? So, and you know, one of the head dudes straight up, you know, when I was, you know, when we was talking about getting down with the organization, he straight up told me, he was like, hey, bro, like that's your ass, bro. Like if you don't fall in line, man. And he's like, bro, I just want you to know that. And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, all right. Because man, I did my history, my research. You feel me? And that's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? We was on. You feel me? I thought we was like for the people. I thought we was for the community. And you know what I'm saying? But these dudes was like legit, like set tripping, bro. Like, you know, if you see someone at the gas station like rocking a different color shirt, like, bro, they own you. Like, they legit like own you, bro. And I'm like, I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't on that. Like, cause I figure I'm like, bro, like we all, you know what I'm saying, coming from the same struggle, coming from the same thing. Like that ain't what I'm on, bro. You feel me? And but I got wrapped into it, man. And you know, I kind of got into the culture. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying. The enemy was really heavy on my mind, and so like, you know, the enemy really like put it on me for like a brief season, man, like a very brief season, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We would go around, you know what I'm saying, flagged up, throwing it up, like, man, getting in trouble, getting pulled over, like, uh, all kinds of just stupid stuff, man. Like, all for a flag, man, all for someone who don't know us, who could care less about us. You feel me? And and so it's crazy, man. It was just like, bro, like I just wasn't on that type of time that these boys was on, man. These boys was like all out, crash out, like straight dummy missions, man. And it was just like, man, you know, they so strict on the code, but man, there ain't no code. Like they turn on you, man. Like it's just straight foolishness, bro. And it's so contradicting to what their 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 morals are and their code and what they supposed to be standing on. And it's just like, man, it's just man ridiculous, bro. And but like I said, man, there was a brief time where like I was like, man, yeah, like man, GD folk, like man, sevenfold to the world blow, like man, type, and it was just, man, if I gotta be honest, it was just straight demonic, bro. It was straight demonic, man, and so, man, I started to see how they did things, man, and like I said, man, like that uh career didn't last long, man, and so, and it's crazy because you know, like being in the mix with all that, man, like I pushed a lot of people away. You know, people that really care for me, people that were worried about me, man. Um, because I was spiraling, man, and like you know what I'm saying, the organization that I was involved with, like man, these dudes was like for real out there, bro. And like I say, man, like I wasn't prepared for that, man. I wasn't on that type of recklessness, bro. And and so, man, like one day on some he say she say type stuff, man. Like these boys was getting in my head about a friend of mine, and I wound up stomping them out, packing them out, man. And that had set off, you know what I'm saying, something with this one side of the organization, and so they confronted me, and it's messed up, man, because this dude was my homeboy, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Prior to me stomping him out, like he already had went in, said hello to my grandparents and all that. Like we was cool like that. You feel me? And like we knew each other. Again, this is a different homeboy. Like, but we knew each other before this gang banging BS. You feel me? And like I said, man, he had already went inside, said hello to my grandparents, and so I pull up with these dudes. I confront him about some he say she say, and I wasn't trying to hear it, man. You know, like I'm like, okay, yeah, now I got to show these dudes, like, you know what I'm saying. I gotta put my feet where my mouth at. You feel me? So regrettably, man, I stomped this dude out, and like I said, man, that caused a rift with the other side, man. And it's crazy because we all supposed to be under one organization, man. But you see, this is what happens. You wind up taking out your own. You know, you talk about brotherhood, you talking about organization, you talk about, you know what I'm saying, love, life, loyalty, and all this other BS. But bro, it ain't none of that when it comes to this gang banging, man. Like it's straight reckless, crash out. You feel me? And so when I did that, man, uh, word got around, man, that there was a green light on my head, man. And one day they came to my house, and it was crazy, bro, because I was hanging out with one of my, again, another homeboy that I knew before this gangbanging stuff. Like a lot of us had got clicked up with this organization, and we was all from the hood, from the neighborhood. You feel me? Before we all started this, you know what I'm saying, got involved with this organization, man. So there was a lot of dudes I knew prior to this gangbanging stuff, and so like I said, man, it turned bad, man, and so me and my homeboy, we chilling at the crib, and these dudes show up. They knock on the door. My grandma answered the door, and so like, uh, my grandma like, hey man, there's a bunch of dudes outside, man. So I go outside, man. They snatch my flag up out of my car, and he was like, yo, straight up, bro, like, man, like, you ready to get packed out for what you did? And I'm like, what you mean? And I ain't gonna lie, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know the caliber of these dudes, bro. I'm like, yeah. So I told him I was like, yeah, all right. So what? They're like, bro, you know what I'm saying? We finna pack you out. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, hold on, let me go get my shoes on. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I booked it. I booked it, man. I took off, and it's crazy, man, because shortly after that, bro, you see on the news, man, them boys got hit with the RICO Act, and them boys, you know what I'm saying. Some of them came home, you know what I'm saying. They been like, so they did like 12 years or something, man, and it's crazy, man. Like the things that, man, that stuff, bro, will do to your mind is really so demonic, bro. And listen, man, if anyone out there, bro, if that's something you thinking about getting involved with, man, don't do it because, bro, your own kind, right? Your own umbrella, whoever you fall under, bro, they will take you out. It's crazy because one minute y'all stacking, making money, you know what I'm saying? Hey, folk, I love you, folk. Yeah, folk, till we die, till the world blow, folk. But man, them be the same ones, bro, that blow your head up off your shoulders, bro. You know, it's one thing, like, bro, and it's crazy because, man, like, you know what I'm saying? When you mobbed up, like, man, it feel good. Like, man, I'm part of something. You feel me? Like, yeah, man, hey, bro, I call the folks, man. We set this thing off tight. You feel me? But it's another thing, man. When an individual tell you, hey, bro, there's a green light on your head, bro, for what you did, and it's amazing how God worked, bro. Because it's amazing how God worked, bro. Because fast forward, Several years later, man, I wound up getting saved, man, and I'm on my way to the studio, man, doing a Christian hip hop album, and I had stopped off in a Walgreens to have used the bathroom, and I knock on the door, man. And I hear somebody say, "Hold on," and now remember, man, pretty much the last thing I'm told is a green light on my head. So again, these boys get hit with the RICO Act. So I figure, okay, what I'm saying, they up the road. So I'm waiting my turn to use the bathroom, man, and the door click open. And it's my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? The one who was locked up with the first world, the one who put me on, like, and like, man, from the beginning, man, like, bro, like, it wasn't right. Like, you hear, what I'm saying, you got to get initiated. They jump you in, this and that. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? He was giving me all this first world knowledge. And it was like, because he had first world knowledge, man, like, that already gave him rank. And because he gave me this knowledge, which he really wasn't supposed to do that. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, this stuff is so watered down. Like, they talk about structure, but there's no structure. There's no love. There's no loyalty. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no morals, and it's stupid, man. So as he come up out the bathroom, man, like, I'm kind of playing with my phone. I look up and I'm like, oh snap! Like, okay, okay. So I put my phone in my pocket, man, and he's like, hey, bro. He's like, you gonna hear from the horse mouth, dog. Like, he's like, hey, man, forget everything I said, bro. Like, I'm sorry. He's like, bro, that stuff was crazy. That stuff was reckless, bro, and I'm sorry. And he's like, bro, like, can I get a hug? Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was kind of like, man, I don't know, man, but hey, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get down. We gonna get down. But man, we embrace each other, man, and you know what I'm saying? I put him up on game, like, yeah, man, you feel me? Like, God had changed my life. Like, I'm actually on my way to go do a Christian hip hop album and stuff. And, like, so fast forward several years after that, I'm at the pet store, fish store, and getting some fish food, man. And I see OG, and I'm not gonna lie to you, my heart's racing because he's the one that ordered the green light, and my heart's racing, and I'm just like, man. So I turn around, kind of like play it off, like I don't see him, man, and I feel a tap on my shoulder, so I'm like, oh snap, like. So I turn around and whatnot, man, and he put out his hand, man, and the first thing he says is, he says, dog, I'm proud of you, bro. He's like, man, I heard you done change your life around, man. He's like, yo, praise God, bro. Like, that's what's up. And I'm taken back, man. I'm like shocked, like, man, because you know what I'm saying? That feeling when, they tell you, man, they got a green light on your head, bro. And then for this man to be sitting here telling me he's proud because I done changed my life and gave my life to God, man, it blew my mind, man. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's the power of God, bro. Like, the Bible says, man, that, man, when a man's ways pleases the Lord, it says that even his enemies will be at peace with him. And so, like I said, man, that gang banging career didn't last long, man. Like I said, I wasn't built for that, man. I wasn't on that, man. Like, I'm all about protecting mine. You feel me? Like, but all that, man, set tripping and just because, man, another gentleman rocking a different color, like, man, that's just straight. That's crash dummy stuff, man. And I'm not on that, bro. I ain't built like that, man. Like, I learned real fast, bro. Like, I wasn't on that, and I'm telling you, man, like, bro, that stuff just ain't worth it because, man, it's gonna guarantee you two things: a prison bid or a funeral, man. And it's like you gotta ask yourself, bro, for what? For what? flag for Larry Hoover. That man don't know you. That man don't care about you, man. These dudes, they so-called brothers, man, will stomp and pack you out, man, like an enemy if you do something they don't want you to do. And so, like, man, it's just I want you to think about that, man. Like, you risk your life, bro, for what? The only acceptance you need, man, is from God because, man, listen, Larry Hoover ain't dying for you. These organizations ain't dying for you, man. Jesus died for you, bro. And so, like, man, I done seen a lot of people go to prison. A lot of people get killed behind foolishness, and it's just like, man, you have to ask the question, man, why? For what? You standing on business, man, but let's see how much business you standing on 10 years into a bid. Because when I saw OG at that fish store, man, he wasn't on that no more, bro. And it couldn't help but to make me think that, dang, it took 12 years for this man, bro, away from his family, away from his kids, away from a good meal, like, for what? It ain't worth it. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your time. It's not worth the anxiety of your family, the worries and prayers of your family, because they don't know if you're going to make it home. It's wild, man, that, one thing my granddaddy said to me, man, before he passed, he was like, man, I thank God that you changed because, man, there was times where I didn't know if you was going to make it, man, because that wanting to feel acceptance, what you're willing to do for acceptance, man, it's foolishness, bro. So take it from me, man. That stuff ain't worth it, bro. Hey, and you know what, bro? As a man, I feel good standing on my own 10 toes, bro. I don't need nobody but God. So I want you to think about this, bro. I want you to think really hard about, man. Even if you is involved in an organization right now and you watching this, man, is what I'm involved with, is it worth it? How many people have you lost to this foolishness? How many people are up the road right now because they wanted stripes, man? They wanted that color, man. They wanted that patch. Huh? They wanted a label that don't mean nothing. You claiming a hood and you don't even own nothing on that street, but you'll die for it. Start living for something. Cause you know what, man, it's so much better, man, it's so much better, man, to bless people, to love on people, man, instead of walking around cold and hateful, man. Cause little do you know, man, how much more in common you actually think you have with your so-called op. Y'all probably come from the same struggles. Y'all probably have very similar lifestyles, man, and y'all warring on each other for what? When really, man, you could be building each other up, man, coming up out the struggle together, like how the gangs really originated back in the 1950s, bro. I had a neighbor, man, Mr. J. Mr. J was from Chicago, man, old head, and I told him a bit of my story, and he was like, "Man, you a GD, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Man, no, bro." He's like, He's like, youngin', he's like, man, he's like, I'm a real GD. I'm like, what you mean, old school? And he showed me a picture of him from 1957. And I asked him, and I said, man, what was up with that? And he said, man, he said, that type of stuff y'all on, man, that's BS, man. He said, man, it was about, man, growth. It was about developing your people, man. And I asked him about, well, okay, what about Larry Hoover and, King David and all this other stuff? He said, man, who the hell is that, bro? He told me, he said, man, once Larry Hoover got involved, man, that's when it got corrupt because it was no longer about community, man. You brought the drugs in, and once you get drugs and money involved in a situation, man, guess what? Shortly after that comes greed. Start mixing women in the mix, man. Guess what, man? You sleeping with this one, you sleeping with that dude's girl, this and that. It's like for what? Larry Hoover and King David and all them boys, they destroyed what growth and development was supposed to be, man. And towards the end of again my career, man, I was there when the order came down that man, it's no longer gangster disciples, man, it's growth and development. And listen to Mr. J, man, old school J, like it blew my mind, like because that's what I studied about growth, about development, man, about really helping your people, man, not knocking each other off. So think about that, man. Is it worth it? There's no code, there's no morals today, man. It ain't worth your life, bro. Stop dying for something that don't care for you, man. Jesus died for you because he loves you. Start living for him. And so, man, that's all I got for this episode, man. I hope y'all took some things from this, man, because man, listen, take it from me, man. I lived it, I tried it, man. It didn't work and it's not worth it. So, man, listen, do me a favor, man. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. If you like this video, man, share it. Because man, we trying to keep kids, man, from going down that same path, bro. Because like I say, man, I done seen them go to prison. I done seen them go to the grave, man. And bro, you gotta ask the question, why? It's not worth your life, man. Your life is too precious for that foolishness, bro. You can overcome oppression. You can overcome poverty. You can overcome your situation, man. God can bring you hope inside of chaos, man. God can bring you peace inside of chaos, man. You don't have to be a part of it, man. You don't have to be a product of your environment. You can rise above it. You don't have to be like everybody else. So with that being said, man, listen, I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification one time, man, so you'll be notified every time a video drops. Listen, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And just know that, man, you are unique. You are blessed. You are loved, man. And let them know Big Bro said. Yeah.